Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rusty 78609, and I'm out for a trike ride this morning. This is TRIKEMAN on his Liberty electric trike. I'll show it to you so you'll know what I'm riding on. That's it right there. That is a Liberty electric trike from electrictrikes.com, and I really enjoy it. It's got about 300 and I don't know how many miles on it, a lot. 377 miles on it, and I've enjoyed every one of them, I believe. So here we go. I'm just out for a trike ride. The temperature right now is about 65-ish, I think. No wind, but I'll go slow since I don't have the external mic. You might pick up a little wind in the mic, maybe not. But we'll go about 5 or 6 miles an hour along this bike trail that goes all the way into downtown Llano. We've been on it before, but it is such a nice day. I thought, man, you got to get out in this. And I am. And I'll probably be riding for several hours, actually. But we'll do a short video just to show you what it's all about. What I wanted to mention this morning, or something you probably, it'll help you get you out of your funk, is remember the happiest times of your life. When were they? Where were they? What age were you? You know, for me, the happiest times of my life seem to be growing up, the early ages on the farm near Kennedy, Texas. We had a little farm. My dad was a sharecropper and then eventually bought his own place. It was a hard life in a lot of ways, but it was a fun life. It was a free life. You know, we raised our own food, bought very little from the grocery store. You know, we raised cattle, hogs, chickens, you know, all kinds of stuff. And but it was a free life. You know what I mean? We worked hard when we worked. But there were several weeks during the year where there wasn't a whole lot to do, and we took advantage of those too. You know, we'd take little trips and stuff. But for me, just being able to live free in the country of South Texas and near a town called Kennedy was wonderful, because my parents were very, I don't know, they were strict in a way, but as far as telling me where to go and, you know, what to do. That's a sneeze. That's a good old Texas morning sneeze. But anyway, yeah, I was free as a bird, you know. You know, they never told me what time to be home or whatever. You know, my dad told me one time, said, just use good judgment and tell me the truth, and we're good to go. And that'll work, won't it? Sometimes it was hard to tell him the truth, though, because I'd do some stupid things. You do stupid things when you're growing up. But yeah, those were happy times, man. We were a pretty close family in some ways. You know, we had 3 sit-down meals at the table every day. I think I probably mentioned this in another video. But yeah, every day, except during the school year when kids like me were in school. You know, we either ate in the lunchroom sometimes, or we would take our lunch, which Mother would prepare. And so, you know, it was a good deal. We had an old Mexican man that worked for us named Andreas, and he lived in a Quonset hut about, roughly 100 yards from our house in the country up on a hill. Beautiful place, beautiful view. Maybe that's why I'm always looking for a view. But anyway, you had to call him for breakfast. After we get through eating, one of us would go to the back door and call him for breakfast, what we call breakfast, dinner, and then supper. That's all changed now. You know, now they even have brunch to confuse you. So, but yeah, it was just an easygoing life, man. We raised animals. You had to feed them and take care of them, and you know, we had all kind of pets. I had a pet rabbit. I think I had a pet chicken one time. I had 2 pet hogs. You know, I could call them, and except for the chicken, you couldn't call the chicken. I'm not kidding you. That chicken would not pay attention. And but the rabbit, I don't know. I think the rabbit came because it just knew I had some food, but I always thought it was because I gave him a name and he understood, but I'm sure that's incorrect. But it was a wonderful time, and most of the time I was alone because my siblings, my brother and sisters, I had 2 sisters and a brother, they were all older than me. The closest one to my age is 4 years older, and so that means when I was roughly 2 years old to 6, I was the only one at home to figure out things to do, and I did. I had an old dog named Bill. I've talked about that before, an old collie dog, and we'd go everywhere, you know, and I thought that was just neater than crap. But anyway, we're out here. These are apartments out here. I don't go through this mess. Depresses me seeing the apartments. Well, actually, they're pretty, and they're in a great location, and they're pretty quiet, I'm told. And but yeah, see, you can see the beautiful hill country of Texas across there, and yeah, it's lovely. Llano for me is a great place. This is right on the edge of the western part of Texas. It's far enough away from Austin you don't get much traffic. You do on the traffic, but on the weekends you get a little bit. You know, people come out here to get out of the cities, and they go down to Castell on this road up here, 152, that I was riding parallel to. And Castell is just a store, and they serve food, hamburgers and stuff, but they always have, you know, some kind of music and stuff on the weekends. But anyway, back to Kennedy, Texas, and growing up and enjoying my life. Yeah, that was, to me, the fondest memories of my entire life. You know, of course, everybody wants to say that those were the good old days, and they were. But for me now, even though those were good times, I try to make the good old days now and the good times now. Even though, you know, I create my own problems like all of us do. You know, our mind is a crazy instrument, I have to tell you. Do you have control over it? I doubt it. I think, you know, sometimes it's on its own. You know, you can't turn it off for sure. It's kind of like having stuff in the cloud. You know, you can't turn it off. It's just there. But we're cruising along here at about 5 miles an hour now, and it is a pretty day. Couldn't be more beautiful. I got me a snack, and when I end the video, I'll continue on into Llano and check it out, and you know, just cruise around the little town. And is that fun? Hell yeah, it is, man. You know, there's not much traffic here, as you've probably noticed many times. The population's about 3,000. Elevation's probably, I don't know, 1,200 feet in that range. Not very high, but the climate is fairly dry most of the year, and then the summers get pretty hot, like most of Texas. But you know, I couldn't have picked a better place. I've often said that if I could live anywhere in Texas, it would either be Llano or Fredericksburg, Texas. And Fredericksburg's just a little bit pricey. The RV parks there are like $500 a month and up. So, you know, I mean, could I afford that? Yeah, I could cram it in the budget, sure, and go without eating. But yeah, this little old bike path goes all the way into town. It's 2.2 miles, and yeah, it's hardly anybody uses it. This is a field over here. They used to have a baseball field and all kinds of stuff. You know, you kind of miss all those activities, and I don't know when they'll ever come back. And, oh, also something else in this area is deer season opened this morning, I believe, because I heard some shots in this area, because there's some deer leases not too far from the RV park. So when I was walking this morning, you could hear the deer hunters. And you know, everybody's got an opinion about hunting. You know, for me, I think people do what they need to do or want to do, and if you can afford to hunt, do it if you enjoy it. You know, the most enjoyment of hunting, and I've been on several hunts, deer hunts, and is just sitting around a campfire, having a few drinks, and listening to everybody lie or exaggerate stories. You know what I mean? You know, nothing makes a story better than the passage of time, because you always add a few more ingredients. But yeah, but when I was a kid on the farm, I mean, if you could visualize this, you know, first we lived on the old Tobe place, which we didn't even have running water as you had. We had an old water well, but mother had a thing in the kitchen you had to pump with your hand, and you had to prime it. You pumped it, and then the water would come out, and it was cold. You know, the hot water you had to put on the stove to heat it, and it had a wood burning stove, so it was pretty basic stuff. But I think we left there when I was about 4 years old, right around 1950, in that range. We moved to another place that Daddy bought up on a hill with a couple hundred acres of land, and that was the beginning of a whole new world, actually, because that was just another place to learn. It had a big barn, had what we call the little house there that had 2 rooms in it. We used one of them for smoking meat, and the other one was full of all kind of stuff. I don't know who left it there. I never figured that out. But there was all kind of World War II memorabilia in there, all Life magazines and all kind of stuff. And yeah, it was a wonderful place for me to spend a day, you know. And I found an old Air Force, it wasn't a helmet, but it was like a leather hat that was lined with wool and had little thing where you could hang stuff on the helmet. I'd put that thing on and I'd fly all over the universe, you know. But it was those were good times, man. And so, you know, even though the times now are different much, you got to learn to make the best of them. And, you know, people want to know why I'm getting a Class C and doing all the things I do. I'm just adding a little flavor to an old man's life. That's all. And because, you know, I could sit on the couch and you know, watch the news, but that's totally out for me. Even though the Class C's come in, has 2 TVs. Wow, I'll just use them to watch YouTube and you know, stuff just like I do now. As far as network TV, network TV, I mentioned in a comment call this morning. I swear I think they ought to be banned. You know, it's crazy. It's gotten absurd, in my opinion, which is only my opinion, not yours, not anyone else's, mine. And on we go, guys. I'll end this video here in a few minutes. I'll let you enjoy the ride. Yeah, this is just the outskirts of Llano, Texas. It's a beautiful area. And that dog that barked, if you heard it, this is Saturday morning, by the way, so there is a little traffic on this road, people going shopping in town. But that dog back there that barked, he's always trying to get over that fence, and believe it or not, he can, but he never has, but I know he can. He just doesn't know how to do it. So, yeah, we're just cruising along here, guys. We're right now we're probably, 3/4 of a mile from downtown Llano. And I've done videos of it several times, but for your own benefit, when you have time to sit and meditate or think about the good old, well, not necessarily the good old days, because the good old days are right now. Make them right now. But, you know, the good times in your life, there's got to be a few, if any. And yeah, you know, focus on those and accentuate the positive. You know what I mean? So let me end the video up here. I'll get in the shade and I'll end the video. Why? Because it's about time. My hand's getting taller. So from near Llano on the bike path going into town, this is Rusty 78609 saying, thumbs up, carpe diem, adios, bye-bye. Buy anything you want to buy anytime, but if you think about it, go use the Amazon link in the description of all of my videos. Why? Because it doesn't cost you a penny. Amazon takes care of me. Just click on the link and go to Amazon, do what you want to do. Drink plenty of water, stretch, walk, take deep breaths, stand guard at the door of your mind, and enjoy your life. No one else's, yours. Okay, guys? Anyway, we'll talk again later. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye.